Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more Omega Strikers Collegiate Showdown. Wait, Collegiate Core Strike League tournament play. We are live from the Shenandoah Esports Arena here. My name is Chris Clayton, and I am joined by the lovely Nolan Herndon, aka Ether. Nolan, how you doing? It's been a while, hadn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited to get into some more Omega Strikers. We were here last week. Getting into it this week, we were in play-ins, now we're in playoffs.
Yes.
So excited to get into it. We will be getting into UCLA versus Lakeland University, the 2 seed versus the 7 seed.
Yes, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, like the last time we casted Omega Strikers together, I believe, was a certain LAN very early on in the days of Omega Strikers, but I don't know, it feels like a distant memory now. But anyway, yeah, so we are here in CCL tournament play, which means that we have a bracket to show you, as the matchup we are about to show is UCLA versus Lakeland. But how did we get here, Nolan? Well, take it away.
Yeah, so we have RIT on the top bracket. We are waiting on an update for that, but SLU did win versus Auburn, so that will be SLU versus RIT. We also have George Mason versus NJIT, which will go against the winner of that top matchup. But then we have Lakeland versus UCLA, which will be coming on to stream here in a bit. And we have UT Dallas versus Longhorn, which Longhorn did beat the other UT Dallas team. So that'll be an interesting matchup on the other side.
Yeah, that should be fun to watch. And admittedly, I'm not sure which games are on which streams, so just keep an eye on the appropriate, media platforms, the Discords, whatever, to make sure that you stay up to date with all of the Omega Strikers action happening today. But with all that said, back to the series we have for you today. We have maps and pick bands to show you for this matchup, Lakeland versus UCLA, and it certainly looks like we will be starting on Night Market, as that is UCLA's pick.
Yeah, something we're all too familiar with. Night Market, one of the top pick maps in the CCL here. The map number 2, though, Taiko Temple, not one we see as often. I know you were definitely introduced to that one at the GMU LAN game, Mason. That was a blast. And then we are going to end off our tiebreaker map with Atlas Labs.
Yeah, I mean, relatively standard picks. I mean, I guess Taiko is a little out of place, a more common band than a pick, but certainly not too out of the ordinary. But yes, so we will be starting on Night Market here very soon, as we now move into character select, right? We have, is there anything you're expecting, right? We know these Lakeland guys pretty well, but what do we know about the other side?
Yeah, 3Z, Grimella, Water Fury, all common names that I'm sure many of you have heard in the community, all very good players. So I'm really hoping they'll honestly give Lakeland a run for their money here, and definitely they are going to be able to do so at their skill level. As we see the Now pick coming out first, nothing too crazy. Now a very prominent pick in the meta here, with the Imi goalie as well coming out, Asher on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy yet, right? I mean, in terms of like team comps on Night Market, you're not thinking anything crazy, right? This is I would argue, probably the least gimmicky of the maps, right? With just movement speed in the middle and some weirdly placed walls. So pretty stock standard stuff here. We have the Zentaro, a Now, and an Amy goalie there for the side of UCLA. But standing across from them will be an Era, an Asher, and an X. Who else as we get into game here?
Yeah, and we see the Knife's Edge and the Explosive Entrance being the two starting awakenings here. Zentaro really loving that Explosive Entrance. A barrier already coming down on the side of UCLA. Lakeland able to pick that up, and a barrier traded for 3Z.
Yeah, nothing too crazy here other than a lot of damage. Never mind that they are able to find a kill onto that Era, and now numbers advantage in favor of UCLA, and we'll see if they're able to get this other goal barrier down. As now more damage coming out. Everybody staggered or dead for the side of Lakeland. Coming out swinging so far, and I don't think Lakeland was quite ready for this, as now a third kill will go their way, or excuse me, a second kill. X did not die there, but I mean, wow, a very, very aggressive start for UCLA, coming out swinging quite literally.
Yeah, and that knife's edge and the explosive entrance adding so much damage to the side of UCLA. The Zentaro able to get so much damage with all of these abilities. The Aimi able to help out. Now also not too terrible in the damage department here. Lakeland able to get both barriers, putting a lot of pressure in. Core flip coming out from UCLA, having to relieve the pressure. Aimi turret also coming out, trying to get that out.
Yeah, just not able to really find the Zentaro yet and get it out of their own danger zone, right? E.T. Han here on this X has been so overwhelming so far, but now with UCLA on the front foot on their own offensive plays, with now having a core flip as well, we expect that the core will stay up in this direction for a while, except a missed strike will now force to use her core strike. Or a core flip, excuse me. And sure enough, a core flip in the face of the goalie will knock them straight back in, and a score to tie this game up from Lakeland.
Yeah, and as X says, sometimes you just gotta punch it in. Core flipping there, killing the goalie, Water Fury on the side of UCLA, and able to find a goal there for Lakeland. Currently 1-1. We have quite a bit of set left to go here. No barriers taken quite yet. Soren able to defend that goal barrier. 2 still standing on both sides. 3Z not opting to use that core flip quite yet, but able to find the one. Investing it now, able to find the second barrier, but costing 1. Oh, and is going to die from the Era Tornado there. Let's see what Mouse and Lakeland can do here. Trying to get the second barrier. X able to find it with the ulti there. X, nice redirect into the top corner there. E.T. Han able to find a goal.
Yeah, and a great job. It seemed like probably the last strike of the X ult, able to stun the goalie while also reaching all the way behind him to redirect all the way back up top. Just a great strike all around, a great misdirect, and a great goal.
Yeah, and this Asher goalie being so hard to get past that secondary, allowing her to strike more often than these forwards. Soren doing a great job of holding it down. 3Z not able to get that barrier as core control goes over to E.T. Han. Grimella able to find it back though. Water Fury kind of coming up with that glitch. Able to find a barrier. Soren not finding anything with that core flip though.
Yeah, we see a lot of energy on the side. Literally all 3 players for UCLA have their core flips up right now. So if we're going to see an aggressive play, now is the time. Now, Etion also has his, and the core gets away from UCLA. They end up losing a goal barrier for it. But still, all 3 core flips remain up. There's one. No follow-up from Zentaro just yet. There it is, and an Asher Wall will cut that right off and blow up the play. But a goal barrier still drops, and there's the third. Not quite a goal, though. A great save by Soren in the heat of the moment, able to find the core and get it out. But Era certainly in trouble, right? Just fighting for her life, and sure enough, a blink in your face and a well-timed strike will put it in to make this game 2-2.
Yeah, 3Z really putting a lot of pressure on Soren. Soren trying to hold out, using that knife's edge on the edge of the goal, trying to get from top to bottom, trying to do it all but not able to do so. 2-2 in the set. We're going to see who's able to finish this first set out. E.T. Han finding the double barrier with the ult there. It has flipped, going to find it. Really nice play by E.T. Han as Lakeland will pick up the first set here.
Yeah, I mean, such a close set to start this whole series, right? And we were hoping this would be close with a 2-seed and a 7-seed, as Soren is the one who will get first pick in this draft. And Nolan, tell me what you see.
So I do see, we see the one spark, the spark of resilience, that is going to help with some of this damage coming out. Opting for the fight or flight, not a bad option as well. You have a lot of these little hits by Zentaro from the primary, from the ulti, so gonna offer a lot of speed. The spark of resilience opting onto the Zentaro there, gonna take it away, but also gonna start sparking up. The extra special though, I do want to keep track of on the X. Gonna get that ult at the start of every single really round here, but you also have to look out for the Castellax on the now. Gonna be offering a lot of speed for a lot longer. E.T. Han able to find a barrier though, enabling himself with that special.
Yeah, I mean, great stuff, and a great deny too to take away the Castellax from what would have likely been an Era. So I like that move from now, but back into gameplay, right? We see both goal barriers drop in favor of Lakeland, and we'll see if they're able to punch it in. Not quite yet, but with that extra special surely coming up soon, this X is just looming, waiting for an opportunity, and if Soren and Mouse can just kill enough time and get the core up, it will surely find its way into the goal. And here comes Itihan with the ultimate. It does sneak past him and now has a core flip, and that one squeaks by at such a weird angle. Now Soren with his core flip opting to use it. It will get stuffed for now, but there's another core flip, and now is able to punch that one in the other direction. And I mean, great stuff all around, right? We saw the effects of the extra special on the X, right? Finding extra ults, extra.
A bunch of X's.
A lot of X's. I didn't even mean to do that, but yeah, I mean, we'll see if that's able to continue, right? We're feeling the speed effects from this now on Castellas, and yeah, I mean, it's just really all coming together.
Yeah, and Grimella doing a great job just really enabling themselves with the knife's edge on the side of this arena, getting a ton of speed, able to just move around the arena as they do pick up a KO. Soren not able to pick up the save on the second goal barrier here, trying to make use of this power play. 3Z trying to find so much damage onto Soren, not able to kill him though. Soren doesn't have any evade though, so is kind of almost dead here. Is going to hold on. 3Z trying to look for that kill so they can get it in, but Soren just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, and I've been watching this now move this entire time. Like, this, we've already said it a couple times, but this speed is becoming a problem. This now is hustling around, but Soren now staggered and in danger with his Zentaro in your face. Could stuff it right here, and that will do it with a kill to boot. And now 2-0 lead for UCLA since the draft.
Yeah, and 3Z really picking up the pace on this damage. We saw in the first set they were able to get those KOs early, but didn't quite get those later into the set. But now trying to really pick up the pace again on that damage. Itihan able to find one barrier though. Core flip, not quite finding one from Grimella there. 3Z on the hunt. Gonna use that passive, not able to find something. Itihan picking up that second goal barrier, looking for the goal here, but Grimella is so fast, able to keep it away from this X. 3Z able to find a goal barrier. Soren trying to defend, able to defend the second barrier, able to get it away from 3Z, and is gonna pick up the kill with the tornado. Itihan on the attack now, trying to clear it, gonna opt for the core flip, gonna get it out, but the X is still pummeling up in top. 3Z able to get it out, trying to keep it away on this power play here. Itihan keeps going. Mouse getting the core here. Has core flip, gonna enable it. Itihan gonna get the kill, trying to find this goal.
Yeah, and a great save too by now to keep this alive, as now the goalie for UCLA is dead. A core flip misses, and finally Lakeland is able to put it in and get on the board. But what felt like a sure goal for so long, and frankly on both sides. There was a power play that UCLA had that I'm shocked they weren't able to score on. So very, very back and forth, but ultimately it is Lakeland's point, and they still fight on in this set.
Finding a goal barrier on each side there. Itihan finding the second one there. Doesn't quite have the strike. Emin, ows. Ow, ow. Left me speechless there. Able to find the strike into the bewitching beam. Able to pick up a 2-2. Again, 2-2. Fighting for this set. Itihan picking up a quick first barrier though.
Yeah, and sudden death feels all too familiar now. I mean, like, what started as a commanding 2-0 lead in favor of UCLA has kind of disappeared pretty quickly, and a core flip will not find its way in and get a return kill from Grimella. Oh my lord, Itihan is now dead in a power play for UCLA. Again, this is sudden death. If they can score here, that would be the end of this set, and we go to another draft with a tied game. But Itihan is back, and Lakeland is on the aggression, looking for just a way in, a way to find this X, but they are not able to get there, as Grimella is just playing the bad guy, having to just disrupt as much as they can. A great Asher wall to buy some time, and that one just squeaks by. A great direct right at the face of Soren, and just wasn't able to get there, and we have a tie game now, Nolan.
Grimella putting so much work in, won like 5 or 6 strike wars in a row there to keep possession of the core. We do see the spark of leader. It was 3 sparks here. Strength, agility, and leadership. 1 will be falling to the Zentaro there. Chrono boost, even more speed on that now.
Jeez. Yeah, that's going to be so overwhelming, and we see the spark of leadership go to Era. Now Zentaro taking his time, but opting for another spark.
Yeah, the spark of strength going to be amplified by that spark Zentaro has already taken. So he's going to get so much more damage to Unstoppable to try and just negate some of that damage. But I really don't think it's going to be enough. I think UCLA has really, hopefully, kind of gotten to where they need to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, only one way to find out, and it's to play it out. So we are back into the gameplay, right? One goal barrier down, make that 2 in favor of UCLA, as now they look to punch 1 in, but meanwhile, punching on the other side of the map is E.T. Han, looking to stuff it down UCLA's goal, but does not even get a goal barrier yet. A great defensive effort from all 3 players on UCLA, and I mean, this game is very, very close, right? These players are all extremely good, and this is on full display now. But Soren with a core flip ready to fight back against whatever may come his way. Now, there is the core flip. Now, something to look out for is that both E.T. Han and Zentaro have their core flips, respectively. So does Now, and there it is. And we'll see. Yes, Now is able to stick that one in, as Zentaro's core flip did not even need to be used. So we will see if that could potentially amount to more in this next round.
Yeah, but we keep talking about this Now. This Now is such a problem for Lakeland. Just winning so fast, winning all the core strikes, core wars against the Mouse here. Not able to get it to their X, which is their main force of getting this goal in. But E.T. Han able to finally get the core, able to get those 2 barriers finally, but Grimel is going to try and make it so that his X can never get the core again.
Yeah, it really, I mean, you make a great point. It really does feel like this Now is just everywhere she needs to be all the time. I mean, such a commanding presence. And just feeding the Zentaro, right? Where Zentaro ends up getting a lot of the credit, but yeah, Now is playing out of her mind right now, and no pun intended. Man, I'm making all the puns today, but a core flip and a punch right to the face will send Amy to another dimension, and a tie game once again.
Yeah, sends Amy back to Amy's app there with a swift punch to the throat. Getting that goal in, X able to finally get that core back, as we were saying, but the pressure from UCLA still there, still evident. That's now putting on a master class. A KO coming through onto Mouse, the other midfielder here. Soren doing a nice job there, not going to lose a goal barrier quite yet. Still not. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, great core control from UCLA there, too, with how disruptive that play was from E.T. Han and Soren to really try to kill as much time as they could. There were a lot of times where it really could have got away from Lakeland and it's been a complete waste of a power play, but fortunately, that is not the case, and Soren is still up with 2 goal barriers. However, 1 goal barrier is still standing on the other side, and only 12 seconds until overtime.
Yeah, Soren doing such a nice job of defending these goal barriers here, not letting a single one past quite yet, and is going to finally have one fall here after a tough effort from 3Z and Grimella here, trying to find the other one on the offensive here. E.T. Han not able to get the core. Grimella is just not letting it pass. Finally goes past, but E.T. Han not able to find that other barrier. Finally finds it, though, after popping the ult. Grimella trying to keep this away. This X is such a threat when he gets this core.
Yeah, and a tragic miss from Amy to just barely miss the corner, and it bounces right back up into E.T. Han's hands. But thankfully, once again, now standing right. What just happened? I don't even know what I just watched. Zentaro launches himself straight into the blast zone with the help of a Soren core flip. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, the classic Zentaro where you dash as you get core flipped or damaged right into the edge, and you just get KO'd. Very common on Zentaro, as Lakeland will be looking for their second set here. E.T. Han with the core flip, trying to get it to him. It's almost good as a goal if it gets to him. Got a core flip, and there it is, finding their second set. Lakeland up 2-1.
Yeah, and a great call, right? The moment that core was all the way up in really X's general area, we know that with that core flip, it would not take much for him to find a hole and shoot right in there.
Yeah, and we see both the quick strikes and the heavy impacts. Asher going to be opting for the quick strike here. Now not picking anything quite yet. X not either. The Spark of Focus going to be denied from the Zentaro. Going to get the heavy impact though. Really good for the Zentaro. I really like the draft from UCLA here. I think they definitely won this draft. But the Asher with quick strikes, especially with that secondary, 0.3 second strikes. That is so hard to get past.
Yeah, that's going to be very overwhelming, and we'll see what that amounts to. But for now, a goal barrier down for Lakeland as Zentaro looks for one more. A great stuff there, but they are able to find their one more. And Zentaro just missing a strike there. We'll see. Just misses that one as well. And now the offense going the other way as E.T. Han has ulted and is swinging and does find both goal barriers. So now open nets both directions and a great delay and nice patience from E.T. Han to wait for the perfect moment and sends that straight up and into the goal.
Yeah, and if E.T. Han gets that core, he is getting a goal barrier. Here he is getting a goal. So Grimella is having to fight for their life to try and keep it away from this X. I mean, also trying to just keep it away from this X because he is so dangerous in the face of the core and all the barriers. Soren having to enact the core flip there, able to have one barrier still left standing. Mouse and all of them fighting in the corner there though. Soren still being able to defend this barrier. A fight on the bottom side of the map here. Grimella trying to look for one, not able to find it.
Man, and look at the versatility. Like, this now is everywhere. I mean, going from top to bottom just to maintain this possession and really, like you said, keep it out of E.T. Han's hands. But we find ourselves in a situation where it is on the wrong side of the field, so we will see. Now, back in the hands of UCLA, right? Unable to get the goal barrier that time, but E.T. Han does find a kill, and I believe that Zentaro either had or was very close to his core flip. So that hurts a lot if you are UCLA, excuse me.
Oh!
But an awkward angle will sneak it right past Lakeland's defenses, and we'll take a quick goalie goal there.
Yeah, and that overtime, making that core go so fast, Soren not able to respond, and a goal for UCLA.
Yeah, and that's one you just kind of got to move on from if you're Lakeland, right? You can't let that bother you too much. That's a very tough angle that you just can't be ready for. But now E.T. Han taking a beating as he will almost go down, but not quite. And now as all of the damage is on cooldown, I mean, he will likely...
fighting for his life here.
He evades one more and goes and grabs his goalie's orb, and just like that, he is back like he never left, except he just took a lot more damage, so maybe he has left, but we'll see. Not dead yet, though, is all that matters, is Mouse finding the core flip and a goalie core flip the other direction to save the day. E.T. Han still just fighting for his life, and it feels like we have quite a strategy change here from UCLA, and the call is get rid of this X. If X ever gets the core, we've said it a couple times, that it's something bad is going to happen. So take him off the field and play numbers, but they have yet to kill him.
They cannot kill E.T. Han.
Game. He is just absorbing the pressure like it's not even there.
And he just has not fallen. But Soren able to find out. The nice Oki from E.T. Han, able to bow rush up and send the core down. Looking for match point in this first match.
Yeah, and I think UCLA has the right idea. They just aren't able to finish. The answer seems to be get rid of this X. He's squishy and we have the damage to deal with it. But they haven't been able to just find that one hit to knock him far enough away. And sure enough, he spends that whole round just surviving off of literally nothing. And just a couple missed skill shots, too, here and there, allows X to survive the whole time. Now with a core flip.
Look at this pressure.
Very dangerous positioning. He's punching 3 people at the same time, Nolan. What is happening? He's going to kill all of them. This is crazy to watch, this pressure and presence that Etihan has in this side of the field. I mean, look at how far up Soren is. They have fully committed to this in-your-face playstyle, and it works out perfectly. Lakeland will take game 1 3-1.
Holy, what a match. And 3-1 really not describing how close this match was. The first 2 sets, 2-2, down to the wire. So many KOs, so much damage, and just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, just, yeah, unbelievable stuff from Lakeland there to really, like, I just really force it. I mean, they had a plan, they had an identity, and they just absolutely crushed it. And, you know, we see the commitment from Soren to go up and put it away. And, I mean, props to Etihan for, again, absorbing that pressure like it was never even there. Like, surviving that whole round with literally 0 HP. And, I mean, that was incredible to watch. But enough of game 1. Do you remember the map for game 2?
We indeed are going to Taiko
Yes,
Temple.
we are. How do you feel about
Lakeland's
that?
pick. Taiko definitely, it's a map a lot like AtLab, but with some twist. You have the Taiko drums on the wall, being able to bounce people off, being able to bounce that core into unusual positions, and then you have those 2 kind of weirdly shaped goal barriers. So we'll see if they decide to maybe keep that damage up, maybe change something up, but I expect maybe the Asher again. We'll see if that, probably goalie again for Soren. So strong, Soren able to just defend so well, but
yeah, and looking back to game 1, I mean, let's see what these teams can really take into game 2, because what worked for UCLA was when they embraced their damage, I think. We saw it in the early sets that they almost seemed surprised at how much damage they did, or at least we were surprised at how much damage they did. And when they were able to find the kills, good things happened. I mean, it's simply put, when the other team is dead, they can't defend. So, like, when they had to change their playstyle and start addressing Etihan, that's when things really started to fall apart, and they weren't able to kill him as easily as they were able to kill Soren in the first couple sets. So we'll see if they really are able to sort of embrace that identity of, okay, I mean, we can't get it around you, we can't play around you, we just need to kill you. And we'll see if that's enough for UCLA to come back on Lakeland's map pick, to be fair.
yeah, for sure. We'll see if Lakeland will be able to seal the deal here in the winner's side and drop UCLA down. But we still have some game to be played as we see the last of the replays here.
Yeah.
That sneaky goal coming in from that angle off the bottom side there.
Yeah. And I mean, just look at this presence. Look how close everyone on the field was toward the end of those replays. I mean, it was crazy to watch because that's so not standard.
Yeah.
This effect that Etihan had on UCLA and just the attention that he demands was certainly something to behold. So we'll see if they can keep that up in game 2.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to talk about what we might see. So we have the Asher goalie for Soren. Do you think they'll keep the X? Do you think they'll keep the Era? Do you think they'll kind of swap it up? Maybe a different midfielder? So I'm not going to lie, that now looks so good.
I agree, yeah. And I'm kind of curious if it's worth banning. I mean, that was just as overwhelming, but for different reasons, as we've been gushing about this X and all that. Now looked like a problem. And so I'm curious if they'll ban that, and if they don't, I don't see a reason for UCLA to change that. I do think that works to their favor, and that could help in the damage department. I mean, we didn't really see Lakeland finding many kills as much as they did just beat on you. Like, they weren't actually trying to look for kills. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess you could say maybe not go now, but I don't think I'd agree with that. I think the now looked very strong for UCLA. If you're Lakeland, I don't see a reason to change a thing. I mean, like, fundamentally, I don't view Tycho and Night Market as super different maps, right? Without a black hole in the middle, or like without whatever you even want to describe Gates as being. Like, it's not that gimmicky sort of playstyle. At the end of the day, it is just a rectangle with some obstacles in the middle. So I don't see a reason for Lakeland to really change their style. We'll see if UCLA opts to sort of lean more into that damage like I was describing, or try to find another way around it, but only one way to find out, as I've said a couple times, and that's to just play it.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like the Asher ban being hovered, them saying, okay, we could not really get past Soren's Asher, and then now ban also coming across for Lakeland. Both handshaking, saying, okay, your Asher was a problem, we couldn't get past her, and okay, your now was annoying, we couldn't get it to our X. So we also see the Juno coming out here, possibly the Kazan, going to be a lot of damage again from the side of UCLA, and this time potentially opting for a melee goalie in Atlas.
Yeah, and we end up seeing, I mean, both of those bans end up being enough to completely flip these team comps on their heads, right? We see brand spanking new characters all across the board.
And we have 4 Dubu.
Yeah, that's true.
Is surprisingly somewhat common on this map. So your Tofu Fortress here being able to block off one of the sides of the map. If you ever get it into the corner, your Tofu Fortress just locks it in. So much presence. And already a goal from the side of Lakeland. So much pressure from both the Dubu, the Rune, just everyone.
Yeah, and a great job from Soren to step up pretty much to the midfield line there to make sure that the core was always in Itihan's hands. Like, even when it got past him, Soren was quick to get it right back to him, and that's the stuff that the great teams will do, right? I mean, it's overwhelming. It's so hard to deal with and prepare for, but now as UCLA needs to find a window of their own and yet to find a goal barrier yet, there is one, but a kill in return, as Lakeland now has numbers and the core in their possession. They will find another quick goal, and Lakeland up early.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but in the bottom left corner, that Tofu Fortress being employed, basically ensuring that they get both of those goal barriers, because there's nowhere to go with it. And also you have this Rune who's able to put more creations out, just so much that you have to try and bypass, and there's just no damage on the side of UCLA, even though they have a damage comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that Kazan is still level 1, right? I mean, like, this is how controlling Lakeland has been so far. Kazan just now hitting level 2, and we'll see if that's enough to really start finding opportunities of their own, but so far we haven't seen that. And now Itihan, once again, just waiting for an opportunity, waiting with a core flip. Kazan able to deny it this time, but if Lakeland is able to find one little gap and get it up to the Dubu, and here it comes, right? I mean,
just like the X.
Yeah, this is no different now, and a good bounce there for UCLA to keep it alive, and you know, now Itihan taking all the damage, right? We see the strategy being employed, like you said, at the end of the last game, where maybe the answer is to just take Itihan out. We'll see, because he's getting thrown around, but he's still alive. Soren now not needing to do much, and sure enough, it just creeps in, right? Rune able to find a goal from no man's land, really is. Just the chaos in UCLA's goal was too much to handle.
Yeah, and the Kazan hitting 2 so late. As the community likes to say, Kazan has 2 forms. Unfortunately, was able to only access one of them for a good chunk. The Rune opting for the 1-2 punch here, going to really be doing a lot of damage when he really banishes people, gets that double pillar, and just going to be able to find KOs, as we see the Spark of Leadership going over to Soren as well. The other Spark going over to Water Fury. So
yeah, great stuff all around. I mean, it's hard to really analyze that first set if you're UCLA, because you really didn't have many opportunities to play, right? Kazan was such a non-factor that
it's
hard
oppressive.
to even, right, it's hard to even analyze what needs to change, but Lakeland certainly has not changed anything as they are keeping the aggression up. Now Soren up farther than the rune, and great coordination does let one sneak by, however, and will lose a goal barrier for it, but not the end of the world, as now the core is back in Itihan's possession, and by Itihan I mean Lakeland, because it is back in the goal, because this game moves that quickly. Now Soren able to make a great defensive stand there, and another great clear. But a great save once again by Kazan to keep the aggression going now. As a Dubu wall moment. Oh, wow, and a great kill onto the goalie for UCLA, and now an empty net means they have to keep aggression coming, but one rune pillar will keep it in Lakeland's possession in UCLA's goal and scoring.
Yeah, Dubu X, it's basically the same thing. Itihan says, as he's just in the goalie's face again and again. X ult log again. It's like the same thing.
If you really squint your eyes, they look the same.
At least the Itihan.
Right. Yeah, so now we see Itihan once again in danger of dying, but with his core flip up, I would expect to see it soon, and sure enough, there it is. A Dubu wall will come out, but no goal barrier yet. There it goes. Now Itihan still staying alive, waiting for his opportunity as he keeps getting them and keeps finding goal barriers and goals because of it. Now still alive on the other side of the map, and now no longer staggered and finding goals once again. I mean, the formula is so simple for Lakeland, and yet it's so hard to find the answer.
And I don't know about you, but I'm getting deja vu to last game.
I am too.
The X being unkillable, the Dubu being unkillable. You just can't kill this Itihan guy.
It's crazy. It's so hard to find a way to finish him off now, as Soren does put the Atlas ult down to give a little bit of support to Itihan from the other side of the map. Now as Soren with a core flip of his own, looking for a potential play, and a great save there from UCLA's goalie, Water Fury, to protect this one goal barrier. But again, I mean, up 2 goals and a full set in this game is starting to look bleak, because again, I mean, this is Lakeland's map pick, right? This is where they're comfortable, and we're certainly seeing why.
Oh, and Itihan looking able to find that second barrier finally. The core flip from Soren, he's playing up while Mouse is defending. Itihan low. Will they finally be able to find the kill? No, because Lakeland will score and take their second set. Wow.
And that angle was crazy. I'm pretty sure Soren sent that straight at the corner of the box in the middle of the map, and it went straight at the goal for UCLA. That's an incredible shot there from Soren to put that one in, and now up 2-0 in this game. Could be, I mean, not even could. They are definitely running away with this now.
Yeah, and Stagger Swagger, a huge pickup for Itihan.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to keep your damage
yeah.
on me, I'm going to get speed, and I'm still not going to die. So Itihan just trying to survive, but it hasn't seemed to be a problem quite so far. The heavy impact actually going to the rune, getting all the damage awakenings here. So.
Yeah, I mean, with a 1-2 punch, and yeah, like you said, now a heavy impact, this rune's going to become a problem, and Itihan is going to have survivability all the more. So we shall see if, once again, if UCLA is able to find an answer, right? And it's so far has seemed to be find a kill onto Itihan, right? We know it's possible, but they just haven't been able to do it. And now these just chaotic strike wars and keeping the core in a quarter of the map and for a full like 10 seconds is exactly what Lakeland wants. But on the other side, one bad bounce and it gets past your whole team and you're losing whole goal barriers for it. And now with UCLA on the advance, see if they're able to find a hole, and they do, as Grimella able to put that one in. And is that the first goal for UCLA in this game?
I believe so. Maybe seeing, hopefully, a little spark of hope.
Yeah.
Not quite a spark in the game, but hopefully a spark of hope for UCLA picking up their first But
Yeah.
we'll see. ET Han low, but does have that stagger swagger as long as he is able to keep alive, but able to kill him finally.
Yeah.
And things are looking up for UCLA.
Right. I mean, like, here's the result. We finally see the effect that UCLA can have when they have numbers. We have yet to see it until now, but Itihan is back quickly, and just like that, the goal barrier situation is even. One up for both sides. Now, Lakeland will lose their last, and a great little mix-up there from Kazan, and an assist from both other players. Great teamwork there, and maybe UCLA has found the answer.
Yeah, and I'm not positive, but I believe from what I saw, Juno must have picked up a Dash Awakening, really extending the range. Yeah, you see,
Definitely, yeah.
being able to cross so much of the map now, and maybe that's what the game changer is Juno able to pick up so much pressure on the field like they were able to do on the Now last game.
Yeah, and that can have such a huge effect, right? It might not seem like much on paper, but those jumps like we just saw can absolutely be a difference maker in the long run of this game if you're capable of covering that much space. I mean, covering space is the name of the game.
Yeah, like look, so much distance, able to find the second goal barrier there, hopefully looking for their first set here. Ramella midfield, but can always be in the goal box with that dash. The Water Fury getting rezzed. So much going on, people bouncing off all the taiko drums. But Mouse going down there. Breezy trying to look for it. Ramella trying to help out, almost has a core flip, does core flip. Soren able to get it out though. ET Han does have the core flip here, so they have to be careful. Is going to core flip it on the drum. Crazy angle from ET Han and able to pick up one. Still on set point for UCLA though.
Yeah, I mean, another great shot off the center from Lakeland, right? We see why this is their map pick. They are clearly very comfortable with these obstacles and just with this map as a whole, as they look very complete. And now, again, if they're able to find 2 more goals before they let up one, I mean, this whole series is over.
And watch this Dubu. If it gets into the corner, it's so dangerous, especially once the Dubu gets the Tofu Fortress. Is getting a little low though. Is going to bounce all over, not quite dead. Is going to find the goal barrier, but not quite the goal yet. Able to find a goal barrier for himself though. 3Z looking for the goal and hopefully their first set. Grimella in the midfield. ET Han looking but not able to find it off the log. Still looking for it though. Core flip out of Water Fury, gonna save it. 3Z trying to keep it up. Let's see, on the offensive, passing, and Grimella gonna win the strike war, gonna pick up their first set. UCLA on the backswing.
Yeah, certainly still in this game, right? I mean, it's far from out of it, and we now know, like, Lakeland bleeds, right? This game was looking very out of control even like 5 minutes ago. So UCLA putting some pieces together, starting to find out, okay, maybe we find a pick, maybe if we're able to keep it away from Etienne and just really keep it on the right side of the field, then good things happen, right? Just naturally. So now as we move to draft, how do you feel about this?
A second spark being picked up by Water Fury. Doesn't have the spark of leadership though, that is on Soren, so they aren't too worried about it, but does have 3 sparks, so is going to be quite tanky and have a lot of cooldown reduction. The missile prop on ET Han going to do a lot of work with that wall though. ET Han almost dead though, is going to finally die to the hook from 3Z. 3Z looking for hopefully a goal barrier. Trade back, is going to trade one back finally with the power play. And trying to look for that second one. ET Han is back up though.
Yeah, and again, like we're seeing the answer come together. They're finally able to get these picks even through the Stagger Swagger for ET Han. And while the Stagger Swagger is certainly putting in work, it's not quite enough, right? ET Han's almost dead again. But we've learned the hard way. It does not matter unless he's dead. And there you go. Soren with a core flip now, but down a man. We will see if Lakeland is able to stall this out and potentially get a goal barrier of their own if they're lucky, but not quite. They will lose their own goal barrier. ET Han is back, but a little too late as
nice
a
flip.
Great save there from UCLA to maintain their one goal barrier still remaining. And a potential shot. Not quite. Oh, wow. Great find. Finding Kazan in the middle of all that action and able to find a great strike to put it in from ultimately Juno. And just a great team play there from UCLA.
In the stagger swagger, I want to touch back on it again, will not save you from burst, which Kazan is so good at. He has so much damage at this point in the game, has scaled up. So E.T. Han not really able to make use of that stagger swagger for very much of this set. So UCLA being able to just find so many KOs onto him. Really well played so far from UCLA to turn it from what looked so bleak. But E.T. Han looking low again, does have the core flip, trying to, gonna get bounced off the Taiko drum in the middle. 1-1 core flip, Water Fury gonna drop the other goal barrier here. E.T. Han, they have 2 core flips here, almost 3. Gonna try and look for this goal. E.T. Han is gonna find it.
Yeah, great patience once again from E.T. Han, waiting for a window, and nobody on UCLA able to react quite in time as that distance was just a little too short. And so we find ourselves once again with a tie game in this set, but Lakeland still up 2-1 in the whole game.
Yeah, and E.T. Han has to be so careful because he did use that core flip, which means he has no evade. So he has to be so careful about this damage coming at him. Almost dead. You see, bounce off the Taiko drum and just dead. And that's what I was talking about. Has no evade after core flipping. So it's nice that he got the goal, but he's just dead again. And Mouse trying to control this with the rune pillars there. Not able to find anything. Breezy trying to find it into the corner. Not able to find anything quite yet. Mouse not getting anything. Breezy able to find that second goal barrier. Looking for this goal. Trying to make it 2-1.
Yeah, and E.T. Han is back in the mix, right? I mean, if he's able to die, like, it doesn't matter if he's dead all the time if UCLA can't capitalize on it. And off of his last death, they did not get much. So thankfully, they have been able to find opportunities elsewhere and have gotten both goal barriers down. But, I mean, the presence and a strike in the wrong direction from Grimella looked like potentially setting up E.T. Han to get that last goal barrier. Well, man. Frankly, lucky bounce in Soren's favor to keep this one alive. Now Kazan moving forward with a core flip, and this could get dangerous, but back in the hands of E.T. Han, we've seen this be a problem before.
Oh, no.
And there it is, right? And the core flip's up. One more goal for Lakeland would put this whole thing away.
Water Fury being pixels off of corner clearing that, but it comes back up. Unfortunately, back to the Dubu. Doesn't even have to invest the flip, so still does have that. Lakeland 1 goal away from being able to close out this series 2-0. UCLA fighting for winner's side. Yeah, and E.T. Han very healthy again. Here comes the core flip. Now no evade, and he is still staggered, but a core flip in the face, and a great log will stuff it right into UCLA's goal, putting this whole series away. Lakeland will take it 2-0 over UCLA. And again, these games both being 3-1, that does not tell the story of these games at all.
No, yeah, far from it.
Just so back and forth. You think UCLA is out, they come back swinging, they get a set, they are looking so good. Lakeland able to fight back though and close out these games. So crazy.
Yeah, and look at these stats too. I mean, like the redirects, and I mean 8 goals from E.T. Han. We see where all the damage is coming from too. I mean, it's almost, I don't want to use the term one-man army, but like E.T. Han putting in so much work on all fronts to really secure that win for Lakeland.
Yeah, and again, X, Dubu, he does it all.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just able to just sit there in the goalie's face and punch those goals in, get all those goal barriers. If it gets to E.T. Han, you are in trouble.
Yeah, and as we take a look at some of these replays, right, it's the same story told in different colors, right? I mean, it's like we said, Dubu, X, doesn't matter. E.T. Han's in your face and likely scoring. Another great redirect off the middle. I must have missed that one in the moment, but again, Lakeland just looked very, very comfortable and confident in this map. I mean, it was their map, and we certainly found out why. And I would say I was wrong about this map being similar to my Night Market and that it's not too gimmicky. These drums put in work for Lakeland.
Yeah, able to find so many crazy angles off that middle taiko drum. Just not expecting. You see E.T. Han at the bottom. He just suddenly, the core goes red, and it's suddenly at the top of your goal from out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, before you can even think about it, or even see it, really, it's in your goal. And Lakeland felt so, or at least looked, that was the goal I was talking about. That angle is disgusting from Soren. But that's the confidence that we're talking about, and the confidence that comes with the amount of experience that this Lakeland roster has, certainly paying off. And yeah, I mean, just commanding win for Lakeland. But UCLA put up a great fight.
Yeah, and I definitely do expect them to come back quite far in kind of the loser's side here. They just showed so much promise that I think just if a few things go different, this game is totally different. So I think as long as they can adapt and keep their heads in the game, they can definitely make a nice run back up this bracket. So definitely do not count them out.
Right, yeah, and we're seeing those now, right, where UCLA found a bit of a resurgence and some momentum in this game, able to find a set and just find some goals, frankly. Like, it sounds rough that I have to describe it that way, but like, they really did find the keys to success a good handful of times. So yeah, certainly a couple things here and there, and now with their experience under their belt, yeah, I would not be surprised to see UCLA go on a great run later.
Yeah, especially versus number 2 seed. We've seen Lakeland perform again and again. Everyone trying to come after them for the crown from last CCL. So definitely the team to beat, and UCLA definitely could come back and do so, but not able to do so this time.
Yeah, so great stuff all around. But we are going to take a quick break, so thank you for watching that series. Don't go anywhere because we've got plenty more Omega Strikers coming at you through the whole rest of the day. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.